What is up, everybody? My name is Nate. Welcome to the channel. I got the weekly rotation here. I wore a lot of kind of darker fragrances for the springtime because we're going through this like springtime rain season. It's been like extremely wet, moist, I should say. I wish that the rainstorms would just move from, the United States up to Canada so that we could resolve these wildfires. That would be great. Anyway, I wore a bunch of different good fragrances, and one today you guys are going to be shocked by. You're gonna be shocked. A little update on the perfumery stuff that I got going on. I'm digging it. If you wanna skip ahead to just the weekly rotation, I'll put up a little timestamp here if you wanna skip my mumbo jumbo. But I started doing some of the perfumery stuff, and my God, it's expensive. All these raw materials are not that expensive, but they add up. So like if you want to add bergamot, orange, like lemon, just all these different, little nuances in there. As of this moment right now, I only have synthetic materials because my shipping has been delayed on some of my essential oils, but the only things I have right now are synthetic. So I'm like working with the synthetic materials to try to like craft something, but I'm just kind of learning all the different chemicals and aroma chemicals, and it's such a fascinating process. And I'm smelling things and I'm like, I've smelled this before. And now what's really cool is I'm going back to all my old fragrances. I'm trying to explore my whole collection and really dissect what is actually in there, like all these aroma chemicals. And I knew this a little bit, but I didn't know it like completely. But the note breakdowns that you see on like Fragrantica or Perfumo, those are not like the actual notes. There's all these different aroma chemicals that are putting off the nuances of those smells. So more than not, there's only a few natural essential oils or natural ingredients inside the perfume. And this note breakdown that you see all online is specifically for marketing purposes or for the perfumer to put the purple elephant inside your head. I think it's a book or it's a phrase, but it's like, don't think of a purple elephant. You start thinking of a purple elephant. So it's a technique that they teach in film school. But it's the same thing with notes. So if like there's a raspberry note that comes up, it might be an aldehyde that has the smell of a raspberry. So it might not be an actual raspberry, but it might be a bunch of different aroma chemicals mashed together to create this experience of a raspberry. Anyway, fascinating. It is really fascinating. I'm falling in love with it. It's actually kind of tricky too, because with getting involved in perfumery, it has stopped my fragrance purchasing. So the channel might slow down here in a little bit because I'm putting a lot of my resources into learning perfumery and understanding it, and I need more raw materials for that stuff. So my funds are limited, so it might slow the channel down a little bit. Anyway, going into the weekly rotation, whoa, we've got Poker Face. I wore this on Monday. Like I said before, it has been very rainy. It's just been rainy on and off. Like the sun comes out for a little bit, but then rain just hits by the afternoon. So it's a kind of weird day. But anyway, Poker Face is a Lannoy de L'Homme-esque kind of fragrance. It's got the same kind of deal, same kind of like, spicy aspect, that powdery nature, very seductive, very sexy, cardamom. It's soft with its approach. It's almost got like this might sound weird, but it's got this like wet paint kind of smell in the opening. I know that sounds probably really weird, but it is pretty nice. I'm not always impressed with the performance from this thing. And if you're into like only beast mode performers, I wouldn't really, this is not like a beast mode Lannoy de L'Homme by no means. I think Alexandria Fragrances has one that does longevity really well. So if you're interested in Lannoy de L'Homme but like beast mode, I would maybe look at some reviews on Alexandria Fragrances. I think it's Noir.2 or something like that, but Lana Weed Alone from Alexandria Fragrances, I hear is a beast mode. And then I pulled this one out again. I'm really getting into the Creed Aventus kind of DNA for a little bit. I did order the Club de Nuit Intense Man Parfum, Pure Parfum, and I'm excited for that one to come in. Hear some really good things about it. I just decided to get that one instead of just getting Aventus because Aventus is ridiculously overpriced. Anyway, Supremacy Afnan. This was sent to me a few months back from Afnan, and really happy they did. I'm glad we got to partner up, but it's really good. It's really nice. I dig the whole birch, smoky, fresh kind of vibe. It's just some splendid stuff. It really, really is. You can really smell I can really smell some of the like synthetic materials they use in here too. Like it's really fascinating. I can't put the name of the synthetic chemical onto it yet. Like I'm still learning that whole kind of naming things off as I smell them, but man, it's getting like, I smell something and I'm like, I know what the smell is. So as I progress more and more, I feel like I'm gonna really start understanding a lot more of these scents. And then Wednesday I wore, this is one of my favorite clones, one of my favorite fragrance. This is Royal Oud, or Oud Royal by Ministry of Oud. This is Paris Corner. This is Paris Corner's takes. I think they have Oud for Glory, or Oud for Greatness. They have Oud Satin Mood, which I have, but this is Oud Royal, and this is so splendid. Pink pepper, tonka bean, sexiness. The main thing this focuses on is a beautiful, bright pink pepper, bergamot kind of style in the opening, some rich wood in the base. I don't think it's real oud, just because of the price tag. I feel like, just looking at the material and how much material costs for this kind of stuff, I think it's synthetic oud, but it's super nice. So super bright in the opening, and it's got some kind of like herbalness in the mid, but then it's just a beautiful, like woody base with some musk. So pleasant. It is really pleasant. One of my actual favorite professional wears right now. Really, really good stuff. And then I haven't worn this one in a long time. I sprayed it on and I like got transported back in time a little bit. This is Boss Bottled Intense. This is the Eau de Parfum, I think, Eau de Parfum Intense, or this is the old version, and it's like a crisp apple pie, fresh, clean, cinnamon, nutmeg, but it's also like a fresh, inviting kind of thing. I think there's some bergamot in here, but it's really nice. It's got a lot of cinnamon in here, and then, it's got that appley kind of accord, which is so beautiful. It's some of the best stuff. I love this stuff a lot. I don't have a way to get more of it. It's so expensive. I mean, I could go and buy a bottle of it, but there's so many fragrances that I want that I would not buy a backup bottle. I would just not. I think that's ridiculous. Backup bottles are ridiculous, especially for somebody in my situation. Like, I have so many fragrances. Buying a backup bottle is the stupidest thing you could probably do. Anyway, on Thursday, was this Thursday? Yeah, no, this was Friday. It was Friday. So Boss Bottled Intense was Thursday, and this was Friday. H24 Eau de Parfum. This is, it's got some flowery nuances, relies heavily on the oak moss, and it's a beautiful, aromatic, professional, fresh scent. It's like a cucumber Gatorade. That's how I kind of picture this thing, but it's so fresh, it's so inviting, it's floral, but it's also like professional and clean. I did not know this, but there's a safety restriction or something or other on oak moss. You can't use a certain percentage of oak moss in the final formulation of a fragrance. And I had no idea about this. The things you learn. So perfumers have to like resort to like synthetic oak moss most of the time. You can still use it, but it's just very limited to like a certain extent of like, it doesn't even really make sense to use it instead of just the synthetic material. So it's like, from what I know, don't quote me on this, but it's like under 2% can be oak moss in your final formulation, and nothing more than that, or else it violates the guidelines or something. Anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. This is very good, fresh, it's aromatic, and it's beautiful. I haven't worn this one in a long time. I wore this on Saturday, and it was a bit rainy that day, and so we did drive around, go to Denver. We went to the big city. Anyway, this is Mustache Eau de Parfum. This is some good stuff. Classy, elegant man. This has patchouli in it. This has richness. It's so classy. It could be a little old school if you're not like, if you don't dig the whole vibe, you know? Oh, it's so elegant though. It's so rich and so many great aspects with it. Some just things jump off the skin with it. It's just so pleasant. That was a good shit. And then today, you guys are gonna be, wow, it's like crystallizing here. Absolutely outraged. The controversy. Food for glory. But, I should pause for dramatic effect. But I layered it with YSL Eau de Parfum. And this layering combo is everything. It is so good. So it takes the bitterness of this, the darkness, and it lightens it up and makes it fruity sweet with some aromatics in here. It's basically like adding oud and richness to this, and it's really nice. I only sprayed 1 spray of this, and then I sprayed like 2 sprays of this. So I did 2 sprays of this and 4 sprays of this. And let me tell you, I smell divine. I'm not a big fan of Food for Glory. I'm warming up to it, but oh my God, it's really excellent when you layer it with things. The only reason I don't like this is because it's like so dark. It's so like, but I do admire it. I do admire it. But when you add it with this, it becomes a god. And actually, it mutes Oud for Glory quite significantly. So the Eau de Parfum kind of like takes over and dominates it and, you know, just kind of like mutes it down a little bit. Anyway, it's really nice. You should try it. If you have them, try it. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you next time.